But I'm Danielle, and I'm so excited to introduce you to Monique. She is a new friend of mine, and she is part of Mercy Culture, but even bigger than that, she is part of the Justice Reform. And what's awesome is she is the director of the Justice Run, and she's going to give us the whole rundown of this. But this is our December highlight, our December give back for Catalyst Women. And I know that you've seen us post about justice reform. I know you've seen us post about mercy culture, but I am so excited to introduce to you a ministry that is so near and dear to my heart personally, part of our home church, and for you guys just to know how, one, to get more information, but two, to get connected. So Monique, welcome today. Thank you so much
Hi,
for
thanks for
making
having
time.
me.
And in December, of course, like in the
Yeah,
midst of
it's
all of the
a-
holiday craziness.
it's so good. Happy to be here. Honored.
Yes. So the big question we just need to start off with first and foremost is your holiday shopping done?
Oh gosh, for the most part, I think we're gonna have to call it good at some point.
Yes. Yes. There's wisdom in that. There's so wisdom in that. Well, good. I feel like ours is done for our immediate circle. And
Mhm.
then there's, just like the outer circle, which I've got to just still grab a few things for.
Absolutely.
But man, good for you. Good for you. That's a good feeling to have the list pretty much done for this year.
Yes. Yes, it was so
Awesome.
good. We even got to get some little gifts for our son's teachers. So it was just cookies, but it was just fun,
Hey, it
trying
counts.
to foster generosity in our littles.
Yes. Okay. Well, tell us what is so I want to know about justice reform, and then we're going to talk about the justice run. So can you first give us an overview of what the justice reform is?
Yeah. So the justice reform, I'll just start with our vision, which
Yes.
is to answer the cry for justice by bringing reformation from city to city. So that means we want to bring heavenly justice to these injustices that we see around the world.
Hmm.
And it's rather seeking heaven's justice than just, you know, putting forth a worldly justice that doesn't always answer that cry.
Yeah.
And we feel we do that by bringing reformation. So in our organization, we say reformation is making the crooked ways straight, and that means what the world calls good isn't always good.
Yeah.
So when we bring reformation, we call what God calls right, right, and we call what wrong. And then we put an effort to align with those reforms. So where we feel God says, this is the way that I've spoken it forth, we just try to come into alignment with that, and that extends from saving women from human trafficking to pro-life to just um, our justice nights, and we just try to bring education and then awareness and then prayer. So that's the beginning stages of those areas. And then from city to city means we have a big vision. We don't feel like we're staying here. We have received prophetic words and are just getting excited to start building the next justice residences in the next city. So it's our big vision for a organization to just get on in and jump in the water.
So good. So you mentioned the justice residences. Can you give
Yeah,
us just some details about what that is?
absolutely. The justice residences are the first of its kind facility, which means that it will house up to 100 beds for trafficked or human survivors. So at any point, there can be about 100 residents within the residence. And that's the first of its kind because right now we just don't have a 100 bed facility
Yeah.
in the U. And it's beautiful thing to look forward to. We're breaking ground on March 3rd. So that's going to be a public event. Anyone can come. And
And it's
it's
going to
been
be there in
about a
Fort
year
Worth,
and
the
a
first one,
half.
right?
Yes, that is in the Fort Worth at the Mercy Culture campus. We have purchased property to begin building about a year and a half in the works of plans, and it's just the plans get more and more detailed and beautiful as we go. That's been a lot of, so Justice Run fundraises for justice residences.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay, well, and then we'll just segue into Justice Run. So you
Sure.
guys just had your first Justice Run. And the
Yes,
pictures were incredible. And so
so
tell
much
us
fun.
about how the Justice Run came about and the unique components of Justice Run, because it took place at night.
Absolutely.
So there was a
Yeah,
lot of just, I obviously I'm so like I'm so jazzed just talking about it. But tell us a little bit about Justice
absolutely.
Run.
Yes. So, Justice Run, I'll just have to start from even before me because it began about 10 to 12 years ago with Pastor Heather. And she had a vision of seeing racers just running, but on their bibs, like a marathon runner,
Yeah.
instead of numbers, she saw faces, and faces of children, faces of women. And she just thought, I just have to start making these runs to build up funds and give it away to those organizations that are already doing something. So that's what she thought. She said she was already started. She had talked to organizations back when they were living in Austin, Texas. And then they just felt like a hold. And she said it was really difficult to just stop because she had so much passion to get that started and give away the money. But they really felt a strong hold until they built Mercy Culture. And then she just is, receiving visions from the Lord, like, you are going to put on this run, and the justice reform is going to do it so that it can build up funds for justice residences. And so she just knew the Lord was helping. Told her all at once, she probably would have freaked out, she said. So
Yeah.
it was a beautiful
Wow.
moment
It
to
just gives me
what she
goosebumps.
calls just to submit.
Yeah. And so the Justice Run, how many people participated this year? This was the first one.
Yes, it was the first one. We were praying, we were just like, we just want to see 1,000 runners. Like that's a huge goal.
Amazing. Yeah.
And we had over 1,600 registrants, and it was a blast. We also had a festival, so lots of kids and families to hang out on inflatables, and there was just so much fun. There was a concert. It ended up just bringing out so many people from the community, and we got to bring this awareness that, because our run was at night, like you mentioned, it was different than
Yes.
most marathons. So just answering the questions that were our aim is to bring light in the darkness, and
Yep.
that's why we're changing it up.
And they carry a torch, like a lit torch for all 26.2 miles.
That was the plan. However, there was a tornado watch, and we were just we had, which was crazy in itself, but we had even prophetic words come out of that, just lightning
Yes.
striking in the city,
Yes.
breaking strongholds and bonds of religion. So we were like, whatever the Lord wants to
Sure.
do, we're just going to let it happen. But it did kind of mix up some of our plans.
Yes. Hey, you know what? But it's so powerful. And I loved that, Pastor Landon, I think he had shared that following week that one of his messages that he even received was how the Lord was teaching him to run through storms.
Yeah,
And I was just
definitely.
like, I mean, wow, like just the goodness of God to show up even in the midst of, like, well, I say that, but Pastor Landon, Pastor Heather joke, if whoever's watching, you don't watch Mercy Culture, they at somebody's message every week, they always say, while I was running on the Trinity Trail, which is a running trail that they always hear
Yes.
from the Lord, but how sweet of the Lord to, just bring such a personal, just moment and just revelation even. So
Yeah,
if somebody wanted to get involved with justice reform, what would that look like and how would they go about doing that?
sure. Well, to even just get involved with the justice reform, learn more, be a part. We always suggest just being involved with our last Wednesday services, which is Justice Night, and it's every last Wednesday of the month. And we have different organizations that we interview, different people that we interview to, as I mentioned earlier, bring awareness of certain areas or just educate. And
Yeah.
then we spend time interceding. So we just will worship and go right into prayer. And we've seen such ground taken, such community awareness within those nights. It's here at Fort Worth at Mercy Culture Church on site, but it's also available via YouTube and our social
Yeah.
media platforms. Um, uh, in addition to that, we have a lot of different areas for serving. So you can also, text serve and to our all-inclusive justice number, which I can provide right now. I think I have it right here, 817-409-8644.
Perfect.
And um, and then I would just say, if the Lord moves you to give, that's an amazing way to
Yeah.
get involved and allow your resources to do some kingdom effort.
Yes. Yeah.
And because we are diligent to utilize those funds for kingdom's purposes. So
Yes.
you can also text that number to give or visit our website, which is thejusticereform.com. And right now we're in a season of 25 days of generosity. So as you mentioned, you're Mercy Culture members, so you know that one of our values is generosity. We also, as a house vision of Mercy Culture, the Justice Reform is underneath the covering of Mercy Culture. And so we have the same values, and one of those is generosity. So we're just, our goal is to raise 100,000 by the end of December and
Wow.
get those resources out to the building of justice residences.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Okay, so 100,000. So if you guys feel that nudging, every dollar helps. It counts. It makes a difference. And so if you feel that stirring, I'll share the link below in the video, and then she obviously shared the phone number that you can text. And it's all just super. They've made it very, very easy to get plugged in, connected, and to be a part of it. I have one final question for you. So, to date, what has been one of your favorite stories that just gives you just the goosebumps and just, ignites your passion and your fire to be part of Justice Reform, Justice Run, whichever it is? What's one of your favorite stories that you come back to?
Absolutely. So, you know, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking every time I have a favorite memory, it's of the people coming together. And just one in particular just kept coming to mind. And it was, as I mentioned, the tornado watch. And it actually caused a great big storm by the end of Justice Run. And one of the most amazing memories was seeing all the serve team, just people, volunteer community, um, the police rallying together. And it was like just helping things, make sure that runners were off the course. And we had just giant U-Hauls that we had people like organize. It was still so excellent. You wouldn't have thought like, oh, they packed this in the it was. And when I went home, I just texted as many people as I could because I was so touched in that moment. I felt like it's not that they're serving me, or it's not that they're just serving Justice Run, or that they're even just serving the Justice Reform. They're serving God, and they're doing it with such excellence, such purity of heart, and just wanting to serve and care for people. And that's just one of my favorite moments. Lots of good laughs too, and the craziness of it all. It was just like, this is happening. But just to see the just love of people, love for people, and then the love of God just being shown throughout everyone's efforts, and it blessed me.
I cannot imagine. Like, I'm hoping to go to year 2. It'll be
Yeah.
incredible. Well, thank you for sharing that story. It's just, it was like there's, if you go and follow Mercy Culture or Justice Reform on social media, there's videos of Pastor Landon crossing the finish line and just with the storm. And it's just really powerful. And you can see and hear the volunteers, people just rallying around. And it's just really powerful to know just like God was on the move, and people just like just the warnings that were going on all around Fort Worth. So
Yeah.
but just so powerful. So thank you so much just for sharing that. Is there anything else that you want to share just with the audience listeners in regards to either Justice Reform or Justice Run?
Look forward to Justice Run 2022. We are set for October 2022, and you can register justicerun.com. And we're just so excited to
Awesome.
have that consecutive year coming
Yes.
up. And we're just looking forward to the growth, but also just the expansion of the territory for the kingdom of God that's going to take place.
And will you guys also offer a virtual run as well if people still want to run,
Yes.
but they can't make it to Fort Worth?
Absolutely. Virtual runners have 50% off, so they get half price cost, and they can there'll be directions of how they will just submit their run time and the map of their run. And um, we send out the same bags that the
Yes.
participants get in person, and they're
Which
beautiful bags. So
Mercy Culture Justice Reform merch is my favorite. Like my husband, like we live in our, our Justice Run sweats,
it's so
rain
great.
gear, shirts. Like it's just so good. It's so
Yes, thank you. I want to wear this.
It is. And so I love it. On the back of the pants, it has Run for Justice. And anytime here I wear them, like we're here in DC and we always get like compliments like, wow, I love the pants. Where did you get the pants? And we always direct people. And I always just have this thought that we serve a God whose throne is established on righteousness and justice. And I really believe that since we are made in the image of God, we have that stirring and that there's something that responds to people when they hear justice. There's something that responds when even they see that, and they may not be able to identify it, but I'm like, I know you like these pants, and I can tell you a lot of reasons why, but the design, the comfortability is amazing. But how they're designed, like it's just, I just can't say enough good things. So for
Wow.
that alone, you should sign up, even if you don't know if you're going to be in Fort Worth next year or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Monique. It was just so nice to meet you, connect with you today, and just to hear some of your favorite moments to date with Justice Run and Justice Reform. And thank you for giving us, just sharing the vision and the heart for all things under Mercy Culture and Justice Reform.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time. It's a great time.
Yes, thank you. We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.